Hi, this is Tom Eddins with Whispering Waters Wellness at Alchemy Center for Healing Therapies in Boone, North Carolina. I wanted to show a couple of Qigong exercises today to benefit the adrenals and the kidneys and to open up the low back. And we're going to do that, facilitating that with one other exercise that benefits the lungs. So we'll start there. So this set of exercises, it's only 2 exercises, take about 5 minutes. Could benefit conditions such as asthma and lung-related conditions, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, chest depression, anxiety that causes those kind of things. Also could benefit adrenal fatigue and more low back issues, low back pain, and fatigue and tiredness, leading to soreness in the low back or, as I said, reduced adrenal function. So a couple of great exercises. This first one helps to open up the chest, and we'll begin by finding a shoulder width stance, so feet about shoulder width, wherever that's comfortable for you, a little narrow, a little wider, however you're feeling in that day is okay. And then we want to begin by opening the low back, so allowing the tailbone, the hips to sink under, the tailbone to relax and sink down a little bit, not all the way, but just relaxing a little bit to open up the low back. And then I want to imagine my head is pulled up, suspended from a thread, so that the neck opens up. And in that way, the whole spine gets a gentle traction and elongation that facilitates these exercises, facilitates the energy to move. So then we've opened up the low back, extended the neck, want the shoulders to be relaxed, and allow the diaphragm to relax and the breath to come down into the dantian, or into your center of gravity, which you can find by taking your thumb, place it in your belly button, let the hand just fall down below that. You're right around your dantian, your center of gravity, sort of the storehouse for your energy in the physical body. Okay, so then we'll take a moment and relax into that, feeling that openness in the low back, extension of the neck, relaxation and breath down into the low belly. And then I'll scan the body from head to toe, just for any areas of tension, relaxing as we go down, scanning the ears and the jaw, the neck, shoulders and upper back and chest, the mid back and low back, the abdomen, the hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Feeling as if your feet spread out across the ground like pancake batter poured into the pan. So you really want to settle into this and take a few breaths, letting the breath settle into the dantian. And then we'll begin. Raising the arms up to shoulder height, sinking into the heels, and then as I breathe in, the arms turn over, palms upward and extending out to the sides. And breathing out, coming back in front of the shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out. If I was to exaggerate this so the whole body feels like it's breathing, it would look like this. Sometimes it's helpful to do that a couple of times just to feel the synchronization of the whole body, coordination. But then the exercise itself does that on a much subtler level. So we can open the upper back between the shoulder blades, letting the hands extend, and then here opening the chest, shoulders, elbows, wrists, and all the finger joints. And feel as if your fingers could extend out through the walls. And so do 6 or 8 of those. And take a rest. I tend to start feeling it in my shoulders, and I don't want the shoulders to get tense. So be aware of that as you're going along. Relax the shoulders as needed. And just take a break. You could do 3 sets of 8 if you wanted to, or you could do more or less depending on how you're feeling. So that's the first one, helps to open up the lungs. That one's called The Wind Sways the Lotus Leaves. The second one I like to call Turning the Water Wheel. For this one, I'll take a little wider stance, wider than shoulder width, and I'm going to bring one hand to the low back, so just kind of gathered in a loose fist at the low back, and the other hand is going to scoop down as if my arm is a spoke on a water wheel, and I'm going to scoop up the water, bring it up, and let it run down the arm, across the shoulder, and down, and gather in the low back here. Imagine that the low back could just kind of pool this fresh, warm, aerated water into that area. So I'm breathing out, relaxing down, gathering the water, breathing in, lifting it up, letting it run down to gather in the low back. Physically, with each movement, there's a little bit of an opening in the low back as we bend over, and then a closing and a gathering here in the low back. So that's where we get this pumping action that benefits the adrenals, that opens up and softens the quadratus lumborum and the muscles back there. And it brings a little bit of energy to that whole area. So you can go at the speed that matches your breath. And do 6 to 10, and we'll switch sides. You can just let the other arm come to the low back and continue to scoop up the water. Let it run down the arms. Breathing in, raising up, breathing out, relaxing down. Again, to exaggerate this movement would be to come way down. And that's helpful to get a feel for the synchronization of it all, the shifting of the weight into the one foot, turning the waist. The waist really drives this whole movement, the waist turn there, as you can see. But then once you get a feel for it, you can be a little more subtle with it and let the breath coming in and filling the dantian drive the movement. So that's it. Wind sways the lotus leaves and turning the water wheel. A couple of exercises to benefit the kidneys and the lung-kidney relationship. Hope you enjoy those. Have a wonderful day.